Welcome, beautiful damsels. The moment you set boundaries, you discover who respects you and who only benefits from you having none. Sigma females live by this truth, unapologetically carving out lives on their own terms. They are the quiet disruptors of the social hierarchy, moving in silence yet commanding respect wherever they go. Known for their independence, intelligence, and refusal to conform, Sigma females are enigmas wrapped in confidence, an energy that both inspires and intimidates. Here's a fact to set the tone. Studies show that people who value independence often experience higher levels of satisfaction in life. For Sigma females, this isn't just a preference, it's a non-negotiable. They are selective about their energy, allergic to nonsense, and absolutely ruthless when it comes to cutting out what doesn't serve them. If you think you can test their patience or corner them into conformity, think again. Trying to manipulate a Sigma female is like trying to charm a cat into doing tricks. You'll just embarrass yourself. Now let's dive into the 10 things Sigma females refuse to put up with. And trust me, the list will leave no stone unturned. Get ready to be intrigued, entertained, and maybe even a little uncomfortable. Number 1, fake allyship. Fake allyship is one of the quickest ways to lose a Sigma female's respect. She has an innate ability to see through pretense, and nothing grates on her more than someone pretending to care about a cause, a person, or an issue just for appearances. Whether it's performative activism, empty words of support, or gestures that scream, "Look at me," she recognizes the lack of sincerity instantly. To her, allyship isn't about public declarations or trendy hashtags. It's about actions that align with your values, even when no one's watching. She can spot someone who's doing it for clout from a mile away, posting about a social issue online but ignoring it offline, or showing up when it's convenient, but disappearing when it gets uncomfortable. These inconsistencies don't just annoy her, they insult her intelligence. The Sigma female doesn't need you to be perfect, but she does demand authenticity. If you care about something, prove it through consistent effort, not by putting on a show. She values depth, not surface-level performances. And if you're only pretending to care because it's fashionable or because you want to fit in, she won't hesitate to call you out, or worse, quietly cut you off without a second thought. To her, fake allyship isn't just dishonest, it's disrespectful. It trivializes the very thing you claim to support. And for a Sigma female who believes deeply in personal accountability and integrity, that's a deal breaker. She would rather stand alone in her values than be surrounded by people who use causes as props for their own benefit. In her world, actions speak louder than words, and if your actions don't align with your supposed beliefs, she'll see right through the act, and she won't stick around to watch. Number 2, unsolicited leadership. Sigma females are fiercely independent, and nothing irritates them more than someone swooping in and trying to assume authority without earning it. They value true leadership, built on competence, vision, and mutual respect, not the self-imposed variety. You can't just assign yourself as in charge and expect a Sigma to follow. She'll laugh at your audacity before walking away without a word. To her, real leaders inspire through action and integrity. If you think barking orders or flaunting a title will win her over, you're in for a rude awakening. She doesn't care about hierarchy or tradition unless the person leading proves their worth. And even then, she'll still assess whether that leadership aligns with her own goals and values. Unsolicited leadership isn't just irritating, it's insulting. It assumes she can't think for herself, which couldn't be further from the truth. Sigma females don't need someone to guide them. They're more than capable of forging their own path. In fact, attempts to dominate or control her will likely result in you being permanently sidelined in her life. For her, autonomy isn't negotiable. Number 3, mediocrity disguised as excellence. Sigma females have a radar for mediocrity masquerading as greatness. Whether it's someone overhyping their skills, exaggerating accomplishments, or settling for good enough, they see through it instantly. To them, nothing is more frustrating than people trying to pass off minimal effort as brilliance. She lives by a standard of authenticity and hard work, which means she has little patience for showboating or empty promises. For example, in the workplace, she won't be impressed by a coworker who talks endlessly about their vision but never delivers results. In relationships, she won't tolerate partners who promise the world but can't show up when it counts. Sigma females demand substance over style. If you're trying to impress her, you'd better bring your A game and prove it through action, not words. Anything less is not only unimpressive but borderline offensive. She values excellence because she holds herself to those same standards, and if you don't, she'll happily leave you behind. Number 4. Overly prescriptive advice. Sigma females don't need anyone micromanaging their lives. Overly prescriptive advice, especially when unsolicited, feels condescending and unnecessary to them. They trust their own judgment and prefer to learn through experience rather than follow someone else's blueprint for success. This doesn't mean they're closed off to guidance. They'll gladly seek advice from people they respect. The difference is that they choose when and from whom to accept it. Randomly offering your opinion on their life choices, particularly when it undermines their intelligence or independence, is a fast track to irrelevance in their world. For a Sigma female, overly prescriptive advice often signals a lack of respect for her autonomy. It suggests you think she's incapable of figuring things out on her own, which couldn't be further from the truth. If anything, it'll make her dig her heels in harder just to prove a point. She's not afraid of making mistakes. She sees them as opportunities to grow. So unless she asks, it's best to keep your advice to yourself. Number 5. Time-wasting conversations. Small talk and shallow conversations are kryptonite for Sigma females. They find them boring, draining, and frankly a waste of their precious time. While they understand the occasional need for pleasantries, they'd much rather dive into a meaningful topic or spend time in silence than discuss trivialities like the weather or celebrity gossip. What sets a Sigma apart is her need for depth. She craves conversations that challenge her intellect, explore new ideas, or offer genuine connection. Anything less feels like noise. It's not that she's antisocial, far from it. She simply values quality over quantity when it comes to interactions. If you want to engage a Sigma female, skip the fluff. Ask thought-provoking questions, share your passions, or delve into something real. Otherwise, she'll politely disengage and retreat into her preferred solitude. For her, every moment matters, and wasting it on empty chatter is simply unacceptable. Number 6. Energy vampires. Negativity, neediness, and constant drama are things a Sigma female refuses to tolerate. Energy vampires, those who drain others with their relentless emotional demands or toxic attitudes, are swiftly shown the door in her life. Sigma females protect their energy fiercely. They understand the importance of mental and emotional balance, and they won't let anyone disrupt that. Whether it's a friend who always plays the victim, a co-worker who constantly complains, or a partner who brings nothing but chaos, they'll cut ties without hesitation. This isn't cruelty. It's self-preservation. Sigma females know they can't show up as their best selves if they're constantly being dragged down by others. They're willing to offer support, but only to those who genuinely deserve it and reciprocate in a healthy way. If someone becomes a black hole for their time and energy, they'll distance themselves, quickly and unapologetically. For a Sigma, the equation is simple. If you consistently take more than you give, you won't last long in her orbit. Number 7. Fear-based decision-making. For Sigma, females, fear is a cage they refuse to live in. While others may be paralyzed by the fear of failure, judgment, or uncertainty, Sigma females see fear as a signal to assess, adapt, and proceed with caution, but never to stop entirely. Fear to them is not a reason to avoid action. It's a challenge to overcome. Their decision-making is rooted in logic and intuition, not panic. They approach life like chess, weighing potential risks and rewards, but always moving forward. Calculated risks excite them because they know growth rarely happens in a comfort zone. Whether it's starting a new career, ending a toxic relationship, or pursuing an unconventional dream, they refuse to let what if hold them back. What sets them apart is their ability to embrace uncertainty. They understand that no decision is without risk and perfection is a myth. Instead of dwelling on the possibility of failure, they focus on preparation and resilience. Even if things go wrong, a Sigma female trusts in her ability to adapt and recover. Fear-based thinking, on the other hand, leads to stagnation. a fate they consider far worse than failure. Number 8. Authority without respect. Sigma females don't bow to titles, ranks, or social hierarchies. For them, authority must be earned through actions, character, and competence, not handed out or demanded. You can call yourself a boss, a leader, or an expert, but if your behavior doesn't back it up, they won't take you seriously. What truly earns their respect is humility paired with skill. A Sigma female admires leaders who inspire through example and treat others with dignity, regardless of status. Conversely, anyone who tries to enforce authority without demonstrating value is immediately dismissed. This isn't rebellion for rebellion's sake, it's a fundamental belief in meritocracy over entitlement. To them, respect is reciprocal. They'll respect your position if you respect their autonomy. If someone tries to assert dominance by undermining their independence, they'll push back hard. They don't care about your title if your leadership lacks integrity. In fact, nothing annoys them more than someone flaunting status to compensate for a lack of substance. Number 9. Forced optimism. Sigma. Females are far from pessimists, but they've developed a sharp instinct for recognizing when optimism becomes a mask for avoidance. Forced optimism, the kind that demands you simply look on the bright side without acknowledging any of the legitimate concerns or complexities of a situation, is something they can't stand. It feels superficial, like a band-aid on a deep wound, untouched by the reality of the circumstances. For a Sigma female, optimism isn't about ignoring the facts. It's about choosing to move forward despite them. Life is full of ups and downs, and Sigma females don't just accept that reality, they embrace it. They've learned that growth often comes from discomfort and adversity, and they don't shy away from acknowledging the tough parts of life. Forced positivity, especially when it ignores these struggles, is not only unhelpful, it's disrespectful. It's as though someone is dismissing the real challenge at hand in favor of a convenient, feel-good narrative. For Sigma females, that kind of approach is not just unappealing, it's downright irritating. What they value instead is balance. Acknowledging a problem, being realistic about it, and then choosing a way forward with a sense of resilience. They'll face difficulties head-on, armed with clarity and a grounded optimism that's rooted in action and intention, not blind hope. This is the true meaning of optimism for them, not pretending things are perfect, but having the strength to work through the imperfect. Sigma females don't need someone to tell them to stay positive without giving them something tangible to hold on to. They know that positivity needs to come with a strategy, a plan, and an understanding that challenges are part of the journey. If all someone offers is empty, ungrounded optimism, they'll quickly tune out, because they know the real work requires facing the reality of a situation, not glossing over it. Only then can you actually begin to move forward. Number 10. Conditional love and support. Sigma females have no patience for love or support that comes with strings attached. Conditional affection, where someone's care or encouragement depends on what they can get in return, feels hollow and manipulative to them. These women value relationships built on genuine connection and mutual respect, not transactional exchanges. To a Sigma female, conditional love is a betrayal of trust. It's the equivalent of saying, "You're only valuable to me if you meet my expectations." That kind of dynamic doesn't sit well with someone who thrives on authenticity. If someone's loyalty or kindness is tied to external factors, like their own convenience, social optics, or a need for control, it's only a matter of time before the Sigma female walks away. They don't just expect unconditional love, they give it. When they care about someone, they do so fully and without pretense. They'll support you in your highs and stand by you in your lows, because that's what real connection means to them. However, this generosity is not blind. They're quick to identify when their goodwill is being exploited, and they have no problem cutting ties with people who take without giving back. Sigma females also reject the idea of earning someone's approval or love. They refuse to play games or change who they are just to fit someone else's idea of deservingness. Love, to them, is about accepting someone as they are, not about molding them into a version that serves your ego. In their world, relationships should be safe spaces where you're free to be yourself, flaws and all. Conditional love is the antithesis of this. It creates pressure, doubt, and resentment. For a Sigma female, that's not just unacceptable, it's toxic. She'd rather stand alone in her integrity than compromise for a love that isn't real. In a world that often rewards conformity and superficiality, Sigma females are a breath of fresh air, uncompromising in their authenticity and unapologetic in their boundaries. They are not rebels without a cause, but deliberate architects of their own lives, refusing to settle for less than they deserve. Whether it's cutting out mediocrity, dismissing hollow authority, or walking away from conditional love, their standards are a reflection of their self-respect. What sets them apart isn't just their independence, but the clarity with which they see the world. Sigma females are proof that strength doesn't have to shout. It can move quietly, making waves in its own subtle, deliberate way. Their refusal to tolerate nonsense is not about arrogance, but about knowing their worth and refusing to compromise it for anyone or anything. This unwavering commitment to living authentically isn't just admirable, it's inspiring. It's a reminder to us all to honor our own boundaries, seek depth over pretense, and never settle for relationships, careers, or lifestyles that don't resonate with who we truly are. So, whether you're a Sigma female or simply someone who resonates with their mindset, take this as a call to action. Live boldly, love authentically, and never apologize for demanding better from the world around you. True respect, true connection, and true fulfillment come only when you refuse to put up with anything less. If you've enjoyed this journey into the unshakable mindset of Sigma females, why not stick around for more? Here, we dive into topics that challenge the ordinary, celebrate individuality, and leave you with insights that truly resonate. So, if you're ready to keep exploring bold ideas and uncovering deeper truths, hit that subscribe button now. Join a community that values authenticity, growth, and breaking free from the mundane. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another empowering conversation. Let's grow, learn, and thrive together. Subscribe today. You won't regret it. Thanks, damsels, for tuning in. See you in the next vid. Bye and stay blessed.